Hello, everybody.
It happened again.
Nose. Welcome to Wednesday night OWCP chat
With me and her.
with Chris and Gini. Our last live for 2022. But don't think
They
that
can't hear anything but the music now. Turn it down.
Don't think that we are going away. This is just our last live for the year until January 2023.
Wait, are we going away?
We're not going away.
News to me.
So I'd like to welcome everybody on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook pages. We are streaming. If you could see our setup, you would crack up.
You know what? We're live in so many places. We might be at Times Square.
Yes.
Maybe. Somebody in New York, check it.
Check and see we're in Times Square.
Check it for me.
All right. So we're probably going to go over an hour. It's fine. We're going to be hitting a lot of major topics.
So by a lot of major topics, I learned today that I'm actually teaching every topic in OWCP. So buckle up. Believe me, there's going to be a lot of info and I'm going to have to go fast. But she also said, don't go too fast.
Yeah, I said, don't go too fast.
Which means we're going to probably go too long.
So let me get these questions ready.
So get your popcorn, get a glass of wine, a good bourbon, cognac, whatever it is you do, just do it.
Rich Ray.
What's up,
Matt
Rich?
Hayes, Ron.
All right,
hello, everybody.
This can't happen for the whole night because I'm blind as a bat. So
I look half alien, half Christmas. All right.
Here we go.
So what you guys need to do is click that share button. And tomorrow I'm going to sit down and give the November people and the December folks their gift cards. We just had some things going on this weekend.
Well, I mean, yeah, we did.
Yes.
So I get to talk about it. So I was just in there in the kitchen. So this is a USF, University of South Florida cup in honor of us graduating our first son out of college, not the oldest, but the first one to graduate, and a future doctor. So we graduated a future doctor, next step, medical school. So cheers to him.
Cheers to you.
Thanks for the party cups.
And thank you everybody that sent well wishes and congratulated him. He really appreciates it. He's going to have to go through and look at the messages, but I know he got through some of them.
Yeah, and I let her and Krishan know before this started that I've been thinking a lot about it since he graduated, and I realized that I get most, if not all, the credit for his graduation, his future success that hasn't happened yet. So you can all congratulate me as well on doing such a great job, past, present, and future, with him and the other ones. So way to go, me.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I'm surprised you were. I didn't even know she was here. I thought it was just me the whole time.
All right, so don't forget to share because you could be. By tomorrow, you'll be a share winner of a $100 gift card of your choice. So I will message you and let you know that you are the share winner to send me your email address. And then that way we email the gift card.
So how does someone become a share winner?
All you got to do is go to the bottom of the video, click share, and share away. You can also, if you tag people in the share afterwards, because I will check it tomorrow, that'll give everybody a chance, even on the West Coast, to share as well and get all the shares in.
So to make sure I don't ask 20 questions to get to the answer I was looking for, the answer is you got to share the most times. One share will likely not win it, just so you know. Okay.
Way to go, me. How long does... Okay, so we're going to get to all the questions. So what we
Dang, Matt, jumping right into it.
Yeah.
Let me catch my breath.
The live is going to go until we finish. So here we go.
What's up, Jerry? Jerry Getwood's on.
Hello,
we
everybody.
Love you, Jerry.
Hello, everybody again. We're streaming off live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So you can find us everywhere.
Who doesn't have a TikTok account yet? Now listen, I felt like I was a super awful late adopter of TikTok. I had so many reasons not to do it. I was super against it. But man, it's fun and it's hilarious, and you can just sit there and laugh. There's this one guy, the Indian guy. I can't even say the stuff he says. It's too funny and vulgar at the same time. But Matt doesn't have TikTok. Good news, it's in the App Store and it's free. So follow Breaking OWCP. That's my TikTok page. have some fun on there. Breaking OWCP. And if you want my books, which I don't have a copy in front of me, and that's okay, it's breakingowcp.com. I strongly, in the strongest terms, suggest that you get it on PDF and save it to your phone so that you can have it instant access when your supervisors say the wrong thing, because they're either dumb or they're playing dumb.
Yeah. So again, this is our last live for the year. We're going to give everybody a 2-week break.
It's our last live, period.
Remember, it's 12 days of Christmas. 12 days left for Christmas.
It's not our last live. Somebody's going to go, oh my God, Chris says we're going to keep doing it. We'll do it for a couple more weeks. We'll see what happens.
Kelly, you can ask your questions here, but let's just wait. Let me tell you guys what we're going to review. This is a year-end review of everything we've covered through the entire year.
Get your pen and paper. You're going to need it.
Here is what we are. I'm so glad I found you guys. Well, we're glad that you did.
And Kelly, yes, you ask questions here in the comments. Just type them in, and we'll get to them in order. Hang in there. There's a lot of people that are going to be watching tonight.
So these are the topics we're going to go over in detail, but a quick version. Mm-hmm. We're going to tell you how to file your claim, how to file your CA1 and your CA2, how to fix a denied or closed claim, who do you contact for third-party injuries, how to get and keep COP, the difference and what it's for CA17 and 16, what an MMI is and schedule award, and how to find doctors. So I'm going to stay quiet. I'm not going to look at questions because I'm going to be sharing myself. You guys could share, and I'm just going to hand it over to Chris. We have no housekeeping other than what he said at the beginning about graduation. But again, this is our last live, so share. I'm hoping next year we get to 15,000 before summer. We're at 13. So if you haven't, click the follow button. And if you're on YouTube, click the follow and subscribe, and let's get started.
So before I go, I do want to give my sincere thanks, and I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I start with thanking all of you.
Yes.
We are so grateful to have everybody here, that there's an audience that cares about work comp. For those of you that are new and haven't heard this story, I'll just tell you briefly. In 2016, Gini says, hey, Chris, there's this thing called Facebook Live. We should do a Facebook Live video about work comp. I said, live? You mean like a live TV? She said, well, yeah, okay, but it's on Facebook. All right, no, is what I said. No, nobody is going to come watch a show on work comp. There's just no way. Like, I do this for a living. I'm probably the only person interested in this. Nobody's going to do it. But we did it anyways. And I'll be damned. You all want to see it. You know, to the tune of up to 800,000 views a year. It's insane. I can't believe how many people watch. And, you know, a fraction, like almost 14,000 people follow. So you can all hit the follow button tonight. That'd be great. But I was really glad to be proven wrong. So since 2016, we've been doing this.
Yeah. We
have recorded more live videos and done more training on federal workers' comp than everybody else in the history of federal workers' comp combined. And that's thanks to her for making this happen. So a lot of hearts go out to her, but a lot of hearts go out to you as well for following. I'm really grateful that you're all here.
Yeah.
I also want to, and I know I have a lot to get to, but this is important. I want to thank the unions that follow us and that trust us, but in particular APWU and AFGE. Excuse me. I'm not leaving out people. Just hold up.
Okay.
It's almost like, does anybody have a wife who tries to put words in your mouth all day long?
He does.
So, surprise. It's me. But APW in particular, you know, you guys have been inviting us all over the country to do your trainings. And one thing that I really commend is you had me in a training where your OWCP guy was there in my training, and not to heckle me, not to have a problem, but because this is important. And so I commend APW for that. And I'm really grateful because you guys have, you've really stepped up in a way I've never seen before. And back when I started, I thought, man, the APW is like the unicorns of unions. I can't get their attention. And now it's
all of a sudden,
now we're like this. And so I'm grateful. And to AFGE, to Mr. Kelly in the national office.
All the MVPs.
I'm very, very grateful to all of you for trusting us to let us do this thing that we do. And of course, mail handlers. These are our friends. We really appreciate you. JC in Alabama, Nick here in Florida, or two in particular that are really, really good friends of ours. Byron, who's not a mail handler anymore, but we still love you, Byron. So anyways, I wanted to say the big thank you because I really am grateful to have you all there. And as I said last week, I'll say again, for the rest of the unions, we are ready and waiting at your service. Say when, and we'll be there. And of course, I have to say when.
And this is not discounting that we don't realize that rural carriers and NALC members as well follow us.
Oh, you're here and we love you.
We love all of you. We were just giving an extra shout out to those
that let us come and train live. We really appreciate it. Yeah, I'd love to do the live training. I love it so much. And next year, I'd like all of my travel to be live trainings. So if your locals, your states, your regionals, your nationals would like us to come and do a training, we're no threat to your OWCP folks. We are a supplement and nothing more.
Yeah.
And man, we love it so much.
And those of you that are watching, if you want us to come, remember you have to be a part of the union, meaning a union official, president, vice president, secretary, or treasurer. That you email me when you're having your big conventions, and we'll go ahead and come on out. All
right, so we're going to get to all the questions. It's okay to keep them coming. We're going to get to the questions. I am going to Jane Hodge. What's up? Jane Hodge is on. All right, so I've got a lot of topics. I was speaking to Ron prior to starting, and he said, "What are you talking about tonight?" I said, "Well, we're talking about everything from CA1 to schedule award and everything in between. So it's everything."
Well, let's get started.
So
hold on your questions. Yeah. And then at the end, I'll go back and read all the questions.
Yeah. I won't be able to go into all the great detail on everything, but I'm going to give you the overview so you know what's up, because we have the holidays coming, especially for the postal employees who are going to work extra overtime during this time. You're going to have extra opportunities to get hurt, and we don't want you to get hurt, but I think it's inevitable. Somebody's going to, and so we need to tell you what to do. So I'm going to start by telling everybody to write this website down. It's this logo. It's federalinjurycenters.com. There's an S on the end of that, federalinjurycenters.com. Every form that I mentioned tonight is on the OWCP Forms tab there. Inevitably, somebody here is going to say, "Do you have an office in my area?" When you go to federalinjurycenters.com, the right top of the page, or if you're on your phone, the very top middle of the page is going to say, "Click here to find a location." Every location that we have available to you is there. If you don't see it, it's not available, and there's no reason to ask because it's not there yet. But just know that our goal is to put an office within range of every one of you in all 50 states.
Don't forget to share, guys. Share.
This
is a big one. So if everybody can just share, so we could just get this last one out. Plus, you could easily win a $100 gift card for sharing the most.
Yeah, share it to everybody you know. You may get a $100 gift card. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start with the basics, CA1 and a CA2. So, as federal employees, there's only one way that you can report a work injury, and that's by going to eComp, creating an account, which is super easy, super easy. You go to eComp, ecomp.dol.gov. From there, you register for your account. You fill in a screen full of demographics of information that only you know, and you know it the best. And you submit, and boom, you're in. From there, they have a CA1 or a CA2 button, and you can click on it and fill out your forms. Now, these are the forms for reporting work injuries as a federal employee. A CA1 is for an injury that happens in a single shift. You step out of your vehicle and twist your knee, that's a CA1. A CA2 happened over 2 or more shifts, 2 or more days, weeks, months, or years. It's something that develops over time, like osteoarthritis of the knee because you stand all day long or you walk 10 miles a day for 20 years, or carpal tunnel syndrome because you're doing stuff, fine motor movement with your hand 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day for 20 years. So it develops over time, and OWCP covers that. A CA1 is to report that injury that's happened in a single shift, and a CA2 is to report an injury that happened over time. Most people don't know that thing that just developed over time is covered. That because letter carriers, city and rural, you walk 8 to 10 miles a day for 25 to 35 years. And you're limping around, your knee's hurting, and you don't realize that's a CA2 claim that gets accepted multiple times a day, every day. So you have a right to get help for that. You can, and there's all kinds of treatments. I'm an OA guy. I got osteoarthritis in both knees. I've got screws in both knees. And I will tell you, this treatment is critically important. I don't want a knee replacement yet. Okay. And so these treatments, the advanced things that they have can prolong the time that it takes before you have to get the knee replacements. So check it out. But that's a CA2 condition, and you have a right to get help. So that is CA1 versus 2. Now, one of the differences in a CA1 versus a CA2 is on a CA1, you have a right to have time off paid. It's called continuation of pay, COP. So there's time frames. You need to report your injuries today. Now, we're coming up on the Christmas holidays, and way too many of you are going to value the overtime today over your body tomorrow. And I don't judge you because you need the money. I understand, but your body needs help too. And if you delay, you're going to lose benefits later. And so when we're live, and many of you that have heard me speak live have heard me ask the question, how many of you would like to lose some of your federal rights right now? Okay, because you have the right to COP. So as long as you report immediately, you don't lose that right. If you wait 31 days, you can't have continuation of pay, but it gets worse. If you wait 8 days, you can't have what's called a Form CA-16. And a Form CA-16 pays all your medical bills for 60 days following the injury. Now, you got to understand, a lot of these injuries resolve themselves in 60 days. So you could have 60 days with no bills. And even if your claim's never approved, you don't have to pay it back. So you need to report immediately, right away, today. It happened, do it now. You know, as soon as possible is now. And it is. Now is as soon as possible time to do anything. So do it. So I just I rolled in continuation of pay, which, by the way, when you report within 30 days, gives you up to 45 days of time off. So if you report on time, which is now, you get your CA-16, which will give you 60 days of time to have all your bills paid. But it'll also give you 45 days of time off if you need it. Now, I want you to go to work because the surest way to get paid is to clock in. But you have an opportunity to spend up to 6 weeks of time off of work while your bills are getting paid, your medical bills. So you're getting paid to be off of work and your bills are getting paid. But too many people don't report on time. They rub some dirt on it. They're scared of their supervisors. They hope for the best, and hope is not a strategy. And so they miss their time frames. They lose their CA-16, their COP. So those two things are not available on a CA2 that happened over time, but on a CA1 they are, and you should take advantage of it. So don't forget to report on time. I mentioned earlier e-comp. In the olden days, I think I'm on Yellowstone.
Oh, geez.
1883, even. Olden days. In the olden days, you had to do everything by paper. The CA1 was on paper, the CA2 was on paper. Now it's all online on eComp. So don't forget, ecomp.dol.gov is how you report injuries. Now, in those olden days, you'd go and report to your supervisor, which you still have to do. You got to tell your supervisor you're hurt. And then in those days, you'd say, and I need a CA1 or a 2. And your supervisor would say, I don't have time for that. Or go back to work. We're too busy. Or they'd make up excuses. Well, now they can't do that because you get to go to eComp and fill it out. And it just sends them an email and puts them on notice that they got to do it. And they have 10 days to turn that stuff in. So your life got easier thanks to eComp. If you are somebody that's technology phobic, get over it because you got to use a computer. So ecomp.dol.gov. That's how you file your injuries. Now, when you're reporting a claim and you're going to your supervisor and you're saying, I'm hurt, and you're scared of that because you didn't follow Chris's golden rule, which is I don't care what my supervisors think. I got a lot of golden rules, but that's one of them. I do. So if you are somebody that still suffers from caring what your supervisor thinks, take a union rep with you. And, bring them because there's strength in numbers. And the union rep is going to know the rules maybe better than you do. I'm hoping that you're here, you know the rules great. But I've trained a lot of union reps, so there's a lot of stewards out there that know their stuff now. And, many of them watch us here. So if you are intimidated in some way because you still suffer from caring what your supervisors think, take a union rep with you. But report immediately, so that you start the clock or stop the clock and you get your CA-16 and your COP. The next thing on my list is denied and closed claims, because people call us all the time and say, well, my claim was denied. What do I do? Or can you help me? Well, yeah, of course we can help you. Very often, denied claims are not the end. So I'm going to start with denied claims because, and this is sort of like out of order, but that's okay because I'm following my notes. So a claim gets denied for a lot of reasons, but the Department of Labor always mails something to your house that will say specifically your claim is denied because, so they'll send a denial letter. You just take that to your doctor and they can overturn it by writing a new narrative report. But what you got to do is appeal. The last form or the last page of every denial is an appeal request form. You turn that in with your reason that you want to appeal it, and you select reconsideration. There are other forms of appeal, and some of you like to come on here and just to try to find where Chris tripped up, but you're not going to find it today. I'm not going into your next training module for your members. So I will say they're right. There are 3 other forms of appeal. I just hate them. So if you want to do them, learn about it because I don't recommend it, but they're out there. Reconsiderations are fantastic because it gives you 12 months to appeal, and many people miss deadlines. Okay, that's why I talk about them. 12 months is a giant window, so I love it. It's hard to miss. When you miss these deadlines, it's really hard to overcome. Sometimes it's like terminal. You just can't do anything about it. So 12 months is great. The other thing it allows on top of 12 months is new information from your doctor. Okay, so your doctor can write a new narrative based on that denial letter and upload it through eComp. And we do this all the time. We do it all the time. And this year we've had over, I guess at this point, 1,120 approved claims, 1,120 approved claims in a single year. And we did that because a lot of people come with denied claims and we do reconsiderations and fix it. Are they valuable? Absolutely. 1,120 approved claims says so. So appeal, I suggest you use reconsideration, but if you got somebody telling you to do something else and you don't want to go against them, do the other thing. Reconsideration will still be available to you later, and that's good news. So denied claims are fixed like that, but closed claims are not that big of a deal. I mean, sometimes they are.
Can I intervene?
No. After I say this,
okay.
And then I'll give you the floor. So sometimes closed claims are like hard, but usually they just require a letter of medical necessity from a doctor. Basic, simple things. What I want to say about closed claims, there's a lot of reasons they close. I'm not going to touch on all the reasons tonight, but I'll say this. If you called me and said, I have a closed claim, can you help me? I'd say, well, we'll sure try. We will never give up on you. So always come in and let us take a look at it. Because usually closed claims are not terminal. We can almost always get them reopened.
Right.
Go ahead.
Oh, did you mention about not having to hire an attorney?
You've been sitting here the whole time.
Sorry,
No, I didn't mention attorneys, but just say what you're going to say. Don't talk about attorneys yet.
No. About the closed claim.
Oh.
You did?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So when you guys have a closed claim or a denied claim, I'm getting the phone calls and the messages say, why are you laughing?
Because I did just talk about denied and closed claims. She's
Never
literally
mind.
sitting here not listening, but tell me what you're going to say.
Focused. No, I'm just saying, when you call me and you ask me that, I'm going to send you a message saying, Eric is going to tell you you don't need an attorney. That's exactly what happens in the text messages. So don't tell your friends to lawyer up when they get a denial. I see it on a lot of your Facebook pages. Instead of directing them to a steward that knows what to do or to tell them to contact us because we're going to be able to help you faster.
That's great work. I didn't say anything about an attorney, but I will detour down that road and say to you that almost never will you need an attorney. Where I say you always need it is if you get in a car wreck on the job. That's a third-party claim. They require you to pursue the third party, so you need a lawyer. You just don't need your local PI lawyer that you see in the billboard in the intersection that you're stuck at when you got hit. Don't call that lawyer. Call a federal lawyer. We like Eric Blowers the most. He's a friend of ours. He is, I think, by and large, more inexpensive than everyone else. Inexpensive, so less expensive, and easier to work with. And he's got a great staff. Rachel, in particular, is young and on fire and smart as hell.
And Amanda, paralegal, she gets her stuff done.
Okay, I'm just talking with lawyers.
Oh.
But anyways, Rachel's great too. So anyways, but if you want a lawyer, the other thing you can do, and because you don't have to pick the one we say at all, it's fine with me, but you just can't pick a personal injury lawyer. So if you want to find an OWCP lawyer, it's as simple as a Google search, and you search OWCP injury lawyer. And it doesn't matter what state they're in. You can be in Alaska, and they can be in Maine or Florida or North Carolina where Eric's at. It doesn't matter because this is federal, and they can help you no matter what state you're in. All right. Do we want to answer? We're going to have to answer the questions later. I'll never get to all this topic if I don't just go through it. And then I'm going to answer questions on the topic. Okay. I'm definitely going too fast. If your heads are spinning, I just blame her.
I told him today, go slow.
Right, but you can just do what I do and blame her. I find that it works perfectly. Now, typically, I don't say that out loud that I blame her, but I think about it. I'm like, yeah, that's it.
He's sleeping outside tonight.
All right, so denied closed claims. Okay, third-party injuries. Because I mentioned, and I've said this so many times, letter carriers getting about 26,000 car wrecks a year. That's a crazy number, okay? And that doesn't take into account anybody else for other agencies that have to drive for their job. You know, some people, regardless of what agency you work for, will start and clock in over here, and then as part of your job, drive over here and get in a wreck on the way. That's a third-party claim, and it's a CA1 claim, meaning you have eligibility for the CA16 and the COP. I've talked to so many people that got hurt in a car wreck on the job, and they called a PI lawyer. So again, don't do that to yourself, because the PI lawyer may be world class, but they don't know OWCP, and that's a problem. Whereas a lawyer like Eric Blowers knows OWCP and personal injury. That's a big deal to you. You need somebody that is versed in both. Unfortunately, the best PI lawyers, and I'm thinking of good PI lawyers in my head right now, they just don't know OWCP, and that's just how it goes. So I'm just telling you, word of the wise, don't do that to yourself. But if you're in a third-party injury, you got hurt at work, you need to make a statement. You need to take pictures. And when I say make a statement, like make notes. We all carry phones around. There's no excuse not to take notes. You can even speak what happened into your phone, and it'll type it for you. But you need to take a detailed account of what happened, or make a detailed account of what happened. Take pictures of everything. Get your police report. What else should somebody do? She used to do personal injury. So what else should somebody do on the injury site? Like there they are. Their car just got crashed. But the OWCP stuff I just said, what else should they do?
Get as many pictures as you can. Like he said, take pictures of the person's driver's license, their license plate, because I've seen it so many times. Hit and run. They get out. They think they're going to be nice to you. As soon as the little old lady gets out of the car, they hop back in and then they leave.
And we all carry cameras in our pocket, all of us.
Yeah, like those, what are those?
They're called cell phones.
No, even those dash cams.
But cell phones.
Yeah, but make sure, even before you get out of the car, seriously, take a picture. Take a picture because you got his license plates in case.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if you need to call 911, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Now, many of you have heard, thank you, have heard me say don't go to ERs and urgent cares because they don't know how to get claims approved. This is the exception. Anytime that there's an emergency, go to the ER, go to the urgent care. You got to get help for whatever's an emergency, but just don't go back tomorrow. You got to find an OWCP doctor, because one of the big pitfalls that people run into is that they go to some doctor they don't want to go to, or they didn't know, or they go where their supervisor sent them. That's not okay here. The rules allow you to choose your own doctor. So you can go anywhere you want to go. Should you decide to go to an urgent care or ER, that's okay. But tomorrow you got to call an OWCP doctor. And that goes the same for any time you get hurt on outside of a third-party car accident. And your supervisor says, well, you gotta go over here to, you know, whatever urgent care. You don't have to. Now, listen, I'm not saying go against the supervisor, because you got enough problems as it is, because they're jerks. So maybe you just do it to appease them, but that's not your doctor unless you keep going back. So go, okay, that's fine, but you got to go someplace else, and I'll explain in a minute why that's so critical. Okay, so don't call PI lawyers, right? Okay, so my next note is how to get and keep COP. So I told you how to get it, right? You get it by reporting your CA1 claims within 30 days, all right? Within 30 days. But how do you keep it? All right, so I just said urgent care and ERs. You keep it by ensuring that the doctor that you go to doesn't write on the CA17, stay home for 2 days and then go back full duty. Well, what that means when you go back full duty is you have no disability. If you have no disability, and disability in OWCP means that you can't do all the aspects of your job. You may be permanently, or no, excuse me, what's the word? Completely, or whatever. You may be like completely off of work.
Completely whatever,
or you can go back to work with restrictions. If the doctor says you can go back to work and you're really not able to work, your COP is going to get cut off. So that's my point. You need to make sure the CA-17, which is a duty status report. The duty status report is how the doctor writes restrictions and takes you off of work, how they remove restrictions, and how they send you back to work. Well, what happens is these urgent cares, especially the urgent cares that are buddy with your supervisors, they're sending you back to work full duty. And even if you're still hurt and you really can't do the job, your continuation of pay by rule will get turned off. So you won't have COP anymore. And that's a pain, okay? So keep an eye on your CA-17s, and whenever possible, don't go where the supervisor sends you. You got to pick your own doctor, somebody who understands how to fill that thing out and understands that you need restrictions or you need to be off of work. Again, I'm not advocating for you to be off of work, okay? I'm advocating for you to follow doctor's orders and do what's in your best interest. If you can work, go to work. It's better to be on the clock than to deal with COP. It's better to be on the clock than to deal with leave without pay. It's better to be on the clock. But if physically it's bad for you to be on the clock, then you deserve to get paid to be off of work, and COP does that. Make sure your CA-17 doesn't hose your COP. That's really important. So that's how you keep it. The other way to keep it is if you go to the wrong doctor, you chose the wrong doctor, and that doctor doesn't understand they have to upload medical documentation to eComp, and your claims examiner doesn't receive any medical documentation substantiating your injury, they're going to cut off continuation of pay. So when you go to the wrong doctor, you got to make sure that the doctor does the right thing, and they're not going to usually do the right thing. So be sure that you choose an OWCP doctor. That my last thing is going to be how to find a doctor, but that's going to be important for you. I mentioned the CA-16 earlier. That's how you have all your medical bills paid. In the old days, I used to say, a CA-16 pays all your bills. And those of you that have heard me speak live know what problem I ran into. Somebody raised their hand and they said, does it even make my car payment?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't. It just pays your medical bills. A CA-16 pays your medical bills. Your car payment is paid by continuing to get income. So that's why COP is so important, or go to work and clock in. That's how you make a car payment. But the CA-17, I want to put a little more emphasis on that. That is the duty status report. It's how your doctor takes you off of work or writes restrictions. The other thing that I want to say on top of the CA-17 can cause you to lose your COP is you want to look at it. You want to talk to your doctor. Make sure your doctor understands your physical ability or your physical requirements of the job, because the doctor may say, you have a knee injury, for example, and let's say the doctor says you can walk 8 hours a day. It's a mistake. You need to look at it and say, but doc, my knee's flopping around below. I can't walk. Make sure that it's correct, because your supervisors will potentially give you a limited duty assignment based on that. Now, usually they're going to give you a limited duty assignment that's not right anyways, and so we'll talk about that in a second. But just double check your CA-17s and make sure that you understand what the doctors are saying to you, because this will be the basis for your supervisors determining your limited duty assignment. Very, very important. Okay, that last topic, those last two topics are going to take a long time. So let's answer some questions.
Get to that one. What's the difference between a CA-17 and an OWCP Form 5?
Okay, so the OWCP 5C is what Matt's talking about. So the CA-17 is the best form to use because that form is the official way to restrict duties and take somebody off of work. We use at Federal Injury Centers an OWCP 5C, and Kelly, I think if I pronounced that wrong, forgive me, but I'm explaining your answer at the same time. So the CA-17 is how the doctor takes you off of work or writes restrictions. But sometimes the supervisors don't want to provide those. And in those cases, we use an OWCP 5C. It allows the doctors to expand on your restrictions, but it's not the official form for taking you off of work. It just communicates to your supervisors what you can and can't do. Very, very important. You need a CA-17. In the absence of it, we can use an OWCP 5C.
Right. Just so you guys know, I'm going back. The last message that was on that I could see was Rich Ray. So yes, what we do is we educate and train federal work comp, and this is open to all federal agencies. We teach you what you do when you get injured at work, how to find the right help, and we're here to assist. And we also have franchise locations if you needed to go to one. So that's what we do here.
By the way, speaking of Rich, buddy, thank you so much for being here. At the risk of having him get blown up, so don't do that to him. Rich is a NALC union president in Staten Island, New York. And Rich is a wealth of information on the union side of this. Not that he doesn't know OWCP, because he does. He's been following us forever. But when you have union issues, especially at the post office, he can typically help you. Now, you should all understand that the 4 unions inside the post office have 4 different contracts. I'm sure he's not an expert at all 4, but he knows the inner workings of the post office better than almost anybody I've ever known, probably better than anybody I've ever known. So that's Rich, but don't blow him up, man. Let this guy sleep at night. I'm sure his family would appreciate it.
Yeah, it's Federal Work Comp, OWCP. Yes. And again, it goes for any of the agencies, AFGE, NALC, the rural carriers, the mail handlers, the clerks, VA employees, prison employees. This is for anybody that's in the that works for the federal government.
So we can actually scroll all the way to the top of that and read all the questions.
Well, it's coming up now.
You getting them all?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And also, you cannot file any claim after retirement. You need to do it before retirement.
Okay, I'm going to clean that up.
Oh.
Cans and can'ts. You know how I feel about those.
Okay.
Yes, you can file a claim after retirement. You should just know that I don't know of a single instance of anybody getting it approved. You can do it. There's no rule against it, but typically they're going to say something like, nah, you got hurt at home.
Yeah.
So do it before you retire so you can avoid that problem.
Phyllis said, what's the best medical retirement or work comp? Oh, what's best, medical retirement or work comp?
Phyllis asked that?
Mm-hmm.
Phyllis, I cannot tell you what's better for you. I can explain the difference, though. Medical retirement is something that you can have regardless. It doesn't have to be a work injury. It's through the Office of Personnel Management. So it's federal disability retirement and federal employee retirement system first. Anyways, any condition that you develop in the course of becoming or of working as a federal employee would potentially qualify you for federal disability retirement. It doesn't have to be work related. In my second book, I wrote a chapter on federal disability, and I gave an example of a guy who was out fishing on his vacation in the ocean, and a shark ate his arm. That was on vacation, but he happened to be a federal employee. And so as a result of no longer having an arm because it was in a shark's stomach, he would potentially qualify for disability. It doesn't have to be a work injury to qualify for disability. So that's a comparison to workers' comp, because workers' comp must be a work injury that happened in the course of duty.
Yeah. Oh, and just to let you guys know, our doctors, there's a lot of our doctors on, they're putting down their phone number and their location. So even after the live, you can go back and look at our doctors that are on.
And we ask them to do that because I want you to know who they are.
Yeah.
And how to reach them and where they're located. And they come here because they want to know who you are and what you're thinking about, what you're talking about. So this is a good match. I'm glad everybody's able to be here to kind of get to know each other.
My COP ended yesterday. What do I do now? That's a part of COP.
Okay, your COP ended yesterday. What do I do now? Well, if your claim is approved, you start filling out CA7s for LWOP, leave without pay. If your claim is not approved, you have sick and annual leave. You can begin using that and then get that back later through leave buyback. And then you'll start doing LWOP. That's the best thing I can tell you. If your claim's not approved, you have an emergency. You need to get your claim approved because your only alternative is to go back to work in a condition where you might not be able to do the job.
Judy Rapicki, how are you?
Hi, Judy.
She said, I finally have a hearing and review for my third surgery on the 23rd. Wish me luck. What are the odds of the outcome?
I wouldn't even want to lay odds on that. I'm a betting man. I mean, I am a betting man. Believe me, I like to do it. But I like odds on reconsiderations because we can control it because our doctors write the reports. You know, oral hearings, I can't control what they're going to say or think about what's said. The review of the written record, I mean, they're reviewing what they already used to deny, so they'd have to go against themselves to review it. And the ECAB is like a legal proceeding. So I like reconsiderations because I feel like I have more control over it because my doctors can write reports that I can review. So I don't want to. I mean, Judy, we like you a lot. I just don't want to give you bad odds.
Shout out from Ryan from Ashland, Kentucky.
What's up, Ryan?
Miss Wiseman said, "What is the next step when reconsideration is denied?"
Oh, that's awesome. Do another reconsideration. The beauty of it is you can do an infinite number of reconsiderations. All you got to do is take the denial to the doctor and have the doctor write another report addressing the denial. And we do that until they stop saying no. We never give up. So at Federal Injury Centers, I would write, and when I say I mean my company, we would write a reconsideration every year for the rest of your life if that's what it took. Because you have 1 year from every denial to do it. Most doctors will give up after the first time because it's a lot of work, but it's not in our rules. I don't allow anybody to give up. The only way they get to give up is if they die or retire. That's it. And then whoever takes over can't give up.
Rich, you're going to make me cry.
Well, whatever he says next, I love Rich. And I'm just going to say it before I know what he said, but I do love Rich.
Rich said, "Chris and Gini, meeting you two and becoming friends and now part of our union family, what both of you did for my brothers and sisters, there is no words. My people have a place to go to, not only get their claims approved, also get healed and back to work. No more homelessness." Oh, I feel like I'm going to break down now.
Hallelujah.
"Because of your warm hearts, my people and myself do not have to worry no more because of Dr. Shockey and Dr. Bart and everyone from Federal Injury Centers. Gini, thank you. Chris, thank you. I can never find the words. You made me mentally stronger because I no longer have to worry about doctors no more. God bless you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. 2023 is going to be an amazing year for all of us. I love you both very much, and everything you do for federal workers is God's work."
Love you, brother. Simple as that. I do. He knows it. I'll tell him anytime I'm all the way a man, and I will tell that man I love him.
You're going to be getting a call from me tomorrow.
You're getting a big kiss from me next time I see you. Get ready.
So sweet. Renee Marie. Hey.
What's up?
Chris had been recommending that we put requests in for info into ecom, I believe. Do you know how long DOL responds to those? I know by submitting a letter on there, it should be reviewed, but do you know the process?
I know the exact answer. And the answer is there's no rules. You're still at the claims examiner's mercy. They're required to review everything uploaded, but there's no rules on when they're required to respond. It's very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I know it is, but that's the answer. I don't like it, but it's the answer.
Tara from our Federal Injury Centers of Roscoe.
What's up?
Says.
Roscoe, Illinois, right on the border of Michigan?
Is it that
No,
one?
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, about an hour from Madison.
They'd like to announce that their doctor is now certified to do impairment ratings on the 6th edition.
Roscoe, Illinois, folks,
Yes.
impairment ratings on the 6th edition. And I'm going to be talking about schedule awards and impairment ratings. And I'll tell you also today, I was talking with our Salt Lake City office, and their nurse practitioner is in the process of training on the 6th edition. So that's fantastic. We really appreciate that. And of course, Dr. Cooper is like the godfather of impairment ratings now because he's done more 6th edition ratings than all Federal Injury Centers doctors combined. So we appreciate him for doing that.
Yeah. There's a person on here that you said you needed my email. This is my email. It's either Chris.
CHRIS, not K. Okay.
Or Gini.
I'm a dude. CHRS.
Or Gini.
GINI.
At Federal Injury Centers.
With an S on the end.
.com.
Yep.
You can email me what you need to email me, and Chris and I will talk about it, and we will talk to you.
We're going to have to make an email address that says Chris or Genie at federalinjurycenters.com.
That would be cute. That would be cute.
Because probably somebody tomorrow is going to type Chris or Genie at Federal. It's Chris at federalinjurycenters.com. Genie at federalinjurycenters.com.
GINI.
If you go Chris or Genie, I'm not sure what you're going to get.
Yeah, who knows who that is?
I'm not sure.
Kelly Anderson said, I've been getting federal work comp since my injury on the job last year, July 6, 2021. Finally got my surgery approved. It's set for 10/20/2023. First question, is there any help for me after surgery as far as things I'm not able to do for myself?
Yeah.
And second, what happens financially if I'm not able to do my job after surgery? So I want to get into the other things so we can answer.
Well, let me answer this particular question. In OWCP, now listen, what I'm going to say here, I'm not even sure how any of this is going to come out because I just shoot from the hip most of the time. So it may sound like terrible, but it is the truth. Most surgeons will not touch your OWCP. So if your case is not approved, they're going to require you to use your health insurance, which means copays and deductibles. So just understand that. And then you can do an OWCP 915 form later and get that money back, assuming your claims examiner agrees that was medically necessary. That's tough. I mean, I'm just saying that's the deal. However, once your claim is approved and you have the right diagnosis approved. So what do I mean by that? A lot of people come to me and they say, my claim's approved, but DOL won't approve my surgery. What the heck, Chris? I say, well, what's your approved condition? They say, well, knee strain. Oh, yeah, that's not surgical. I know, but the MRI showed that I have an ACL tear. So what's your real diagnosis? ACL tear. What's your approved condition? Knee strain. They're not going to allow surgery on a knee strain. It doesn't matter what the MRI shows. It's not approved. So before you can do surgery, you got to get a diagnosis expansion and get the correct diagnosis added. If you're this person with a knee strain and you're actually an ACL tear, you've got to have an ACL tear diagnosis added through an expansion to your claim. Once your doctor writes a diagnosis expansion report and gets that added, surgeons will take your cases all day long and be like, please give me more knees with approved claims. I know a lot of these surgeons, they're all good guys. I mean, and ladies. Well, the ones I know are guys, so I'm not being whatever. But they only want the approved claims. So make sure you get the correct diagnosis approved. But the question is, so, how do I get paid? Is that the question? Make sure I get this right.
How does she financially move on?
Yeah. So as long as your claim is approved, you're going to get paid LWOP to be out of work. Your doctor is most certainly going to write you out of work for a little while because you can't walk or whatever. I'm not saying you have a knee, but in that knee case. And so LWOP, your CA7 claim for compensation will be, you'll select, leave without pay, and you'll attach the documentation from your doctor showing why you couldn't work. That's how you're going to get paid. You'll do your therapy, you'll get through it, you'll recover, and you'll go back to work. And in the meantime, you'll get paid LWOP. And if that didn't answer your question all the way, shoot off another one. I'll keep going until I get you all the way, taken care
of. Do you want to finish up?
Read it for a few more questions.
So we still have to go over MMI and schedule award and how to find doctors. So stay with us.
Those are the last topics, but I want to answer your questions to this point.
Christine Miller said, how long does an appeal usually take after your claim has been denied?
That's a great question. There's no rules on that either, except this. With a reconsideration, you have 1 year to appeal. But I think the question is, okay, I appealed, now what? Which makes sense. And there's no rules on that. It's like get in line because there's a lot of you and very few claims examiners. I think that's the issue. So unfortunately, I have to give you bad news. There's no rule on that. So that means they can do whatever they want.
Mr. Braithwaite, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You said you needed a doctor in Salt Lake City. We do have a doctor. Just go to federalinjurycenters.com, click the locations tab, and it's under Utah, and Dr. Wood is in Cottonwood Heights.
Okay, so I want to address this too, and I'm happy that she gave you the answer and that you asked. For everybody here, and especially those of you that are new, maybe this is your first or second or third time in, you should know that we have this franchise called Federal Injury Centers, and this franchise has, 50 some odd offices that are fully trained around the country, more coming. And so we put these offices, or we created this franchise because I realized through teaching you that you had a big need, and that's doctors, because most doctors don't know anything. So we did this, okay, and that's what we're doing. We're just trying to solve your problems. However, don't answer that. I'm going to handle that. Here's the deal. We're not a referral service. I have doctors because you have a need. If you needed something else, I probably would have done that thing. Okay, this is the thing you need. You need doctors who understand the system and who can write reports to get claims accepted. And we've had over 1,120 claims accepted this year. So we do that. because of these guys and ladies. So thank you to the doctors for doing that. But we're not a referral service. We're not going to send you anywhere. We're not going to refer you anywhere. Why is he not? Sean's bed. Text for Sean. Yeah. We're not going to make a referral because you have the right to choose a doctor. The choice of doctor is yours. You can go anywhere you want. You can Google OWCP work injury doctor, city and state, pick whoever you want. Or you can go to federalinjurycenters.com and click on the locations tab. Okay. That's how you find a doctor, but I can't tell you where to go. With that said, yeah, we got a guy right outside Salt Lake City. And it's a nice office with great people and they're well trained. But for everybody else, if you ask me, do I have a doctor? Like Maria said, I need a doctor in Miami. Federalinjurycenters.com, check the locations tab. You may be pleasantly surprised that there's a Miami doctor who's well trained.
We do not have any OWCP doctors in Puerto Rico.
Yet.
Not yet. But
I am looking for a vacation spot, and that sounds like one.
But if you go to our website and check and see, I'm sure somewhere in Florida is close for you. So just go ahead and check there if you need to get this started. Dana Bradford said, what form do you file for a consequential nerve injury?
Thankfully, there's no form for that. A consequential injury requires a narrative report by the doctor. So there's no form. There's not a consequential injury form, although I hear they're thinking about making one, actually.
Really?
Yeah, Eric told me that.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be super cool if they did. But right now what it requires is for your doctor to write a report that we call a consequential injury report. And it explains how, as a result of the initial injury, you have this other thing happening. And then we're able to get the new thing approved almost 100% of the time.
Louisa said, how do I get a work comp ortho doctor to see me and review my MRI for my shoulder?
All I can do is just like, and it's going to sound like sarcasm, I don't mean it, is wish you luck. Orthopeds don't want this stuff. They only want to prove claims they can do surgery on. That's what they want. And the orthopedic surgeons we know are great people, but they want to prove claims because they got a line of people at the door that want surgery. And so they need to know they're going to get paid because, I mean, truthfully, I understand there's a lot of risk in surgery. You got to be put under anesthesia. And sadly, some people die with anesthesia. It's awful.
And you don't even know it.
Yeah, there's complications in surgeries. And so doctors won't do it for free because they have a risk. And I understand that risk, and you would too if you were them. But the way to get this done is to find a doctor who knows how to get a claim accepted, get the claim accepted, and then get a referral to the surgeon that you like.
Right. And so, Kathy, so this is going to answer your question about surgeons or specialists. We do not have any in our franchises. You go to the franchise, you go to or any DOL doctor, they should be able to refer you out.
Yeah, and before we started this company, this franchise, it didn't exist. It was just all a bunch of people going, my surgeons hate me. They don't.
Right.
They just don't want to work for free because of the risk involved in surgery. So what we do is get the case accepted and then help you find a surgeon that will take that case.
Correct.
And I'm going to stop right here and say hello to Mercedes. What's up, Mercedes?
Oh, hey, girl.
So Mercedes is a good friend of ours. We love her.
Yeah.
Mercedes, thank you for being here.
This
We're
is
happy
for you,
to have
Mercedes. Look.
I'm looking forward to your Friday night stuff with her. That's going to be fun.
Oh, Tito Torres said, hey, guys, Tampa in the house.
What's up, Tito? Tito from Tampa.
Justin said, I currently have an open case for medical care, not wage reimbursement, but long story on that. I have not received medical care for about a year, and my condition just flared up and is worsening. Permanent aggravation to the degenerative disc disease. Is there any chance I can reinstate my wage reimbursement by filing a CA2, or does a CA2 link into the original CA1 filed 5 years ago and continue to disqualify me from wage reimbursement?
Okay. I got this. Justin. I only have good news to report on this, Justin.
Oh.
So if you want bad news, you'll have to go ahead and sign out right now. The good news is with an accepted claim, you have lifetime medical benefits. So if you're still having problems, or if you've had a flare-up or a worsening or anything of that condition that was approved, you can still get help. There's a form called a CA2A. It's a notice of recurrence. Now, we like to avoid the form unless it's the right form to use. So what you do before you filing a recurrence, because I'm not saying you have one, go to your doctor. Say, hey, doc, I got this problem. I had this work injury. It was to this body part. What's up? Here's what the doctor's going to say. Well, hey, that's the same condition. It just came back. Okay, cool. So you file a CA2A, notice of recurrence. Or the doctor may say, well, I'll tell you what, that's new. How did this happen? You will talk with the doctor and you'll determine that it happened in a single shift or over multiple shifts. Single shift, you'll fill out a new CA1. Multiple, you'll fill out a new CA2. And you'll follow the process along from day one, like a day one CA1, day one CA2. But if it's the same thing and it just came back and the doctor says that's the same thing and it just came back, that's a CA2A notice of recurrence. You fill that out. The doctor writes a narrative report and sends that in and says, here's why it's a recurrence. From there, you get your treatment because you have lifetime medical. This is an issue where, like, I started off with closed cases. If it's closed, this is how you get it back open when it's a recurrence. So don't despair. There's a lot of hope here. We get these things reopened all the time.
Yeah. And he said, thanks. And you two are amazing. Well, thank you.
Something tells me you are too. So appreciate it.
Kathy said, thank you to everyone at Phoenix City. You are awesome.
Yeah, they are. I know that for sure. You know, they've got a great staff, Dr. Cooper, chiropractors, medical doctors, nurse practitioner, PA, PT assistants, like
A to Z.
They got Tiffany, the case manager, who's top notch. So yeah, I'm sure that that's working out for you. Nothing about that surprises me.
Hey Jenny, how are you?
What's happening? Jenny said that I'm looking great.
No, she said you guys.
She said guy looking great.
Oh, I'm like, wait, what? Well, I don't care.
It's the
Jenny, if you have a sister-in-law for him, tell them he's available.
Sister-in-law?
Yeah.
You know what? 2 out of 3 sister-in-laws love me.
I said if she has a sister-in-law looking for someone.
And I'm saying it's a statistical fact that 2 out of 3 sister-in-laws love me.
Oh my God.
No, 3 out of 4 even.
Yeah.
75% of sister-in-laws love me in my experience.
Dixie said happy holidays from Charlotte.
What's up, Dixie? Dixie is, no offense to all case managers, Dixie is, in my view, and it is an expert view.
And Tiffany.
I said no offense to all case managers. Dixie's the best case manager that I know. And I know this because I teach this stuff. So Tiffany, no offense. You're fantastic too. But she's country. Tiffany is not offended. That woman's got thick skin. Believe me.
Okay. We're going to chat and I'm going to have Chris read this one because instead of me reading it out loud, it is from, hold on, go back. It is
Carol Heath.
Carol. Let him review it.
All right. So you all talk.
Yeah.
Talk about yourself. I'll give you a topic. OWCP.
Don't forget, guys, you can find us on Instagram. You can find us on LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Okay, and don't forget to click the follow button. Even if you are on here, don't forget to click the follow button. That way you're seeing our posts come in daily or whatever we decide to post. We let you know when there's a new office coming on board, when there's open houses, where we're going to be. So keep checking. Don't forget to click the follow. I want to get to 15,000 followers before. Now, you know where we're going to make it? May 30th. I want 15,000 followers by May 30th.
25,000. Okay, so Carol, I'm going to read some of this because I think you all need to hear this. This is what happens when you choose the wrong doctor. Sorry, Carol. I'm not calling you out. It's not your fault you chose the wrong doctor. But I want to read this. What if your physician that was approved by OWCP and was referred by a spine specialist does not write in his report that it is work-related? Okay, so Carol, I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but I have a term for those doctors, and they're called cowards. Yet OWCP's second opinion and the other physicians in the past have concurred that it's work-related, because your guy is coward, that it's a work-related injury. And when it was brought up to the current physician, he indicated that he was done. However, when speaking to the office regarding this issue, they're trying to charge me per page to fill out the questions being asked by OWCP. There's some other stuff there that I'd like you to send me a message about. Just send Wednesday Night Chats a message. We're going to help you. I'm going to put somebody on this case. But what happens is that you find a new doctor because that doctor's a coward. And I don't know how anybody can tolerate having a coward doctor as their treating physician. That doctor is a coward. Switch right away. do me a favor. Don't say that doctor's name here because I don't want to get stuck with like a libel charge for calling that doctor a coward. But damn, I mean, come on. So this is why we started the franchise, because you're all having that problem. This is a problem across the board. Doctors are cowards, not my doctors. My doctors are warriors, okay? You could have put My Doctors in 300, the movie. No kidding. We just keep fighting. We never quit. But man, too many doctors were the other ones on the other side. They were like, oh God, don't hurt me. So that's your kind of doctor. You need a different doctor. I don't know where you're located, but go to federalinjurycenters.com and check the locations tab. Unfortunately, there's like 20 states we're not in. I hope yours is not one of them. But we're working on it. We are working on it. But for that other stuff, because she's got like codes and stuff, I want you to send me a private message here on Wednesday Night Chats, and I'm going to get you answers, because some of those codes are confusing to me even, and I'm an expert at this. So I'm happy to help you with the rest of that. But for the doctor stuff, you need a better doctor, somebody that can pull their head out and do the right job.
Yeah. Jennifer.
Tanya Ferry said, my cowardly doctor is fired. Damn right they are.
Jennifer Wade said, how long will I be considered active employee with USPS while out on OWCP?
Well, I mean, you're not active when you're out on OWCP. Certain things pause, certain things keep going, but you're still an OWCP, or you're still an employee. So don't worry about that. That's what people, I'm not saying you're concerned, but some people are like, what happens to me? Well, what happens to you if you don't get help? That's what concerns me. I understand the other stuff, but man, I see too many people who can't work, but have to work, can't pay bills, and didn't go to work, so don't have income, and so they're homeless. And worse, and I'm not even going to talk about the worst. So let's get your claim approved. Let's do that.
Okay, I'm going to do this one more question, and then we're going to go ahead and finish up. This is from Kelly Anderson. I've been receiving pay from Department of Labor since last year and still receiving pay. What I'm concerned about is, will they pay for someone to help me after my surgery? It's neck surgery from C3 to C7.
I'm gonna let you read the rest. Okay. I want to stop there. Okay, so there's a CPT code for home health agencies, and it is a covered service. So the answer is yes, it can be covered. But the real question is, will they approve it? That depends on the medical narrative from the doctor. It can be covered. There is a CPT code. It's who cares? It's the 5-digit code that they use to bill stuff. OWCP covers home health. So whatever you need at home, if you can't do stuff, they will cover if it's medically indicated. All right, keep going.
Wait, will you keep going? Okay.
Yeah, and there's probably more to that.
From there. Question.
Yeah.
Okay, and if I'm not able to do my job ever, what will happen financially? I was told federal workers' comp isn't designed to pay you out forever.
Okay, so if you're not ever able to go back to your job, that means that you would technically be on federal disability retirement. There's good news and bad news on federal disability retirement through the Office of Personnel Management, OPM. From here on out, I'm going to call it OPM disability. Okay, so OPM disability pays you 60% of your income, your income right now. They pay you 60% for the first year, and they pay you 40% starting in year 2 until you reach retirement age. And so if I stop there, you'd go, oh, that's not good, because like I always say, who can live off 40% of your income, or even 60? But that's the bad news. The good news is the government allows you to get a non-federal job, and as long as it doesn't pay you more than 80% of your previous income, you can get that 80% and this 60 and 40% at the same time. And when you go 40 and 80, that's easy math. That's 120% of your previous income. So you can find a non-federal job that fits within your restrictions based on your disability, and you can get disability income and non-federal income at the same time at up to 120% by year 2. That's the good news. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you need more information on this, you can read my second and third books. I think both have OPM stuff on it. But Eric Blauer's The Lawyer is the best way to go, because he is a true expert on the topic. Eric will talk for for 10, 15 minutes for free. Yeah. So he'll give you a free consultation. But I'll tell you that even with the best medical narrative, most of these get denied, and you need a lawyer eventually to help you. But it's worth so much to you to have that help, because it's the difference between income and no income. But that is the Cliff Notes version of it. we're happy to talk more with you offline if you need some more help.
Do you want to finish?
Okay, so my final topic on OWCP is MMI and schedule award. We do throughout the year probably 3 or 4 schedule award topics throughout the year. And I said throughout the year twice in a sentence. I know it. I'm getting tired. And we talk about schedule awards. So when I'm in live trainings, like with APW, I'll always ask who here, show of hands, who has heard of a schedule award? And out of 100 people, 5 people raise their hand. I'm like, okay. So I say, okay, who has heard of money? And everybody goes like this. Okay, so you've all heard of money because schedule award is money. A schedule award is sort of like a final settlement at the end of an OWCP claim. You get an impairment rating, and that leads to money. We know someone who's getting over $800,000. We know someone who's got $30,000, and I know people that got $1,500. Okay, they're not all gigantic, but it is based on a percent permanent impairment. So a schedule award, people will say, well, how do I get a schedule award? Or can I ask my doctor for a schedule award? Not really, because it's a medical decision. So I'm going to give you, again, the Cliff Notes versions. I suggest you write this down and then check out my books because I talk at length about them in the books, breakingowcp.com. So it starts like this. You get an accepted claim. That's number one. If your claim's not accepted, you're not eligible. So let's get a claim accepted. Remember I said we've had over 1,120 accepted claims this year? So 1,120 people potentially can get a schedule award. All right. So you get your claim accepted. Number 2, you do all the treatment, everything, surgery, therapy, injections, whatever the bracing, whatever the doctor says you need. It's different for everybody. Medical necessity dictates treatment. So whatever you need, you do it. And you do it for as long as it's helping. At some point it stops helping and you're done. And at the done point, the doctor says, okay, you're at MMI. MMI stands for maximum medical improvement. It means, hey, we did all this therapy and we just leveled off. That's as good as we're going to get. Now, some people just keep incrementally getting better and better and better and better over a long period of time. But eventually everyone levels off and that's it. The that's it point is MMI, maximum medical improvement. And when that happens, your doctor says, okay, you're at MMI. And now you can get an impairment rating. There are different editions. Back when I was a boy in my 20s, the impairment rating edition was 4th edition. And I knew how to do the 4th edition impairment. But then that was gone. And then there was a 5th. I don't know anything about that. And then there was a 6th. And I don't know how to do a 6th edition rating either, although I have the book here. So you need a doctor, because the doctor's got to do it. You need a doctor who can do the 6th edition rating. 6th edition. If they try to do the 5th, it's $0. So you say, hey, doc, do you know how to do a 6th edition rating? They're going to say yes. Most of them will actually mean no, but they'll say yes out loud. So you got to know you have a trained doctor. Let's say you have a trained when they get a 6th edition rating. Who was it just said they got 6th edition trained?
Roscoe,
Illinois. So let's say you're in Roscoe, Illinois, or you're in Forest Park, Georgia, or Phoenix City, Alabama, where Dr. Cooper is, and you've got an absolutely trained 6th edition rater. So they do the rating. You take that impairment rating report and attach it to a CA7, claim for compensation, send that in, and the claim examiner will either approve it and pay you or deny it, send you a denial letter that your doctor can fix, turn that back in, and get paid. If they deny it again, fix it, turn it back in, get paid. If they deny it again, fix it, turn it back in, get paid in perpetuity until they pay you. The good news is I did a lot of deadlines here. I did 7 days for a CA16, 30 days for a COP. For a schedule award, it's live. Just be alive. Stay alive. Last of the Mohicans. Just stay alive. Last of the Mohicans. That schedule award. The schedule award is Last of the Mohicans of OWCP. Just stay alive. That's your timeline. Just stay alive. Remember it's raining and they were like in the woods? And so just stay alive. So you will qualify for schedule award if your claim was approved, you hit MMI, you got a 6th edition rating, and you send it in with a CA7, and they approve it. You get paid. There's most people take payouts, and it happens over a period of time. I think there is a way to get a lump sum, but I don't want to go into that now because then somebody's going to say, how much of the money do I get? I don't know. And there's very little I don't know, so I'm not going to talk about it. So that is schedule award. Now, here's a downside of it. If you have a spinal condition, it's not covered. Well, that's not fair. I know, because the 6th edition guide has a rating for the spine, but OWCP doesn't allow it unless it causes problems into your arms and legs. So if you have problems in your arms and legs, you can have those rated, and then you can get a schedule award. So all hope is not lost. But it covers all kinds of stuff that I'm not even going to talk about here, like reproductive systems and organs. I'm not talking about those. I'm not going to talk about reproductive organs. I mean, just saying the words reproductive organs, yeah, I'm fine. I don't even like to use those words. There's other words, but not those ones. Anyways, that's my schedule award talk. For more information, and by the way, my books are good, okay? I'm the author, so I know how good they are because I wrote them, and nobody's ever said that they're not good. So I think I'm right, they're good. But there's some stuff on there about schedule awards that you should look at. And it will not surprise you to know that I write about the rest of the stuff too. I mean, a lot of stuff. In 3 books, I was able to cover like all OWCP topics, all of them, like 100% of them. It's unbelievable. I was able to get it done in 3 whole books. Breaking OWCP.com. Well, Christmas is coming up. Maybe someone wants to buy a book for their friend. So my sister-in-law was here, right? Right. So my sister-in-law was here, and she says she read my book. She's not a federal employee. I was like, "Why'd you do that?" Because I signed the book. So I'll sign yours too. And my nieces and nephews were here, and they took a picture in front of this thing here. They're like, "Hey, Uncle Chris, can we have a book?" I'm like, "Okay." I signed it and gave it to them. But you could have it too, because you'd actually understand it, and it would make sense to you, and you need it. So breakingowcp.com. Don't let the little kids be the only ones that read it. You get the book too.
Oh my God.
That's a real story.
Are you done?
I think that's about it.
All right. Justin,
I am going to end with how to find doctors, but there's more questions.
Justin said, I appreciate the response on the medical advice for the CA2A. However, would I also be eligible for wage loss reimbursement too, or not, since my current claim does not have it?
Yeah. I mean, look, as soon as the claim examiner says, yes, okay, we're opening this thing back up, then your doctor will write a CA-17 and take you off of work if that's what's needed. Write a disability narrative explaining why you're off of work, and then you'll get paid to be off of work. They don't approve compensation benefits until there's a medical reason why. And so our doctors are trained to write that medical reason.
Jalissa said, hi, Gini and Chris. I've tried to reach out to you guys because I'm having a situation at work. Okay. You guys can call me at 877-787-OWCP.
That's 6927.
You can reach out to me on Wednesday Night Chats Messenger, or if you have my personal page, you can reach out to me. I do check it. So please reach back out. Sometimes I miss some of the messages, but please just reach back out to me.
I'm really happy you said that.
Okay.
I've had some people, and I'm not mad at you, but I've had some people complain that I didn't respond to messages. I'm going to tell you what, man, and women, I don't. I know I don't. She gets so mad at me. She's like, hey, look at your messenger. I'm like, what's messenger? So remember, this whole Facebook idea was hers. And those of you that don't know me, you should know that on top of doing Wednesday night chats, I run this company, and I write all the policies and procedures and all the plans, and I create all the training materials and all the marketing materials. I literally create everything. And I do all the traveling with her. We do traveling for training, traveling for teaching your folks in the union meetings. I mean, my job is like, this time that I'm sitting in this chair is like one of the rare times I'm at home. So yes, I miss a lot of messages. So if you send me a message on Facebook and I don't read it, just know you should have messaged her, because she'll get a message and say, hey, Chris, handle this, like twice this week, right? And I handled it because she told me to. So don't message me, message her. Even on my voicemail, when you get my voicemail, it says, don't leave a voicemail, send a text. But even then, I wish you would have called the 877 number, because I want you to get help now. And it's no excuse. It's just, to say that I'm busy is an understatement of a lifetime.
Very true.
I spend my entire time from when I wake up to when I go to bed helping federal employees in one way or another. Yep. And I don't deserve a pat on the back for that. Believe me, until your claim's accepted, then I'll let you pat me on the back yourself, because I'd like to see you. But like, just don't send me messages unless you want to have like this like black hole feeling, because I miss them, and I know I miss them. My partner Tom today is like, "Hey Chris, you think maybe you could return some phone calls?" And he was right. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do that because that makes sense. 100% makes sense. I gotta return phone calls. So just imagine like Facebook messages. I have a hard time getting to it, and I love you all, and I do this on purpose. I actually want you. I want to help you worse than anybody you've ever known in your life. But I miss messages. So do me the big favor of giving it to her, because it won't surprise you that as my wife, she will stay on my ass for 28 hours a day until I do the job. And I will do the job because I like to sleep in my bed.
Yeah. Dr. Chris from Palm Harbor says, if a patient is...
What's up, Chris?
If a patient is on the permanent injury disability retirement, can they get a schedule award?
Absolutely. 100% yes. So here's what you can't do. You can't receive OWCP payments and schedule award payments at the same time. So one gets cut off. So like your OWCP payments will get cut off until the schedule award payments are finished. And then you can go back to OWCP. You just can't double dip. But OPM and that's not an issue.
Kelly Durrett said, how do I get a hold of the lawyer that you were just talking about for federal disability?
Okay, so this person right here is named Gini. And the best way to get to Eric, even if you're me, is through her.
That's so funny.
I don't even text him. I'm like, hey, will you text Eric for me? But Eric and I have a really fun relationship. Okay, look, I love Eric a lot. We're close. We're friends. But when Eric and I talk on the phone, if it lasts 10 seconds, that's funny.
That's true.
It's funny, right? Because he's busier than me.
Yeah.
Because he helps every federal employee in 50 states.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do too, but he does it different.
Yeah.
So the best way to get to him is through her. So if you're not getting a hold of him, tell her.
If you can't get a hold of Chris and Eric, it's contact.
Look, Eric was in an airplane 35,000 feet in the air. And as soon as he landed, he called me about something that Rachel already handled. And so our call lasted like 7 seconds. But he called me immediately when he landed because she told him to.
Nobody else could do that, though. Just the two of you. That's it.
On the planet. Believe me, I doubt anybody else can make that happen.
I know.
So let her know if you're not getting a hold of him.
Carrie Morrison said, regarding OWCP disability, are you automatically retired at minimum retirement age?
Okay, no. Okay, I think I understand the question. No, because OPM runs out at when you hit minimum retirement age. So OPM will last until that point, but every year they're going to do a reevaluation to make sure you still need it, which I think makes sense.
Mary said, shout out to Forest Park, Dr. Cooper and Dr. Hunt. They are the best. They help you out above and beyond your expectations. Melissa Reyes said, that's what I have a spinal that causes problems with my arms and legs, but the nerve test showed no nerve damage.
Well, it doesn't have to be nerve damage to have a leg and arm problem. But again, for those of you that are new, I'm also not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV. So you'll need to call your doctor and figure that out. But anything that causes permanent issues into your limbs will be covered. Mm-hmm. They just have to find the right diagnosis and get that approved and then do the schedule award.
Justin said, books are phenomenal.
Thank you, Justin. I really appreciate that. So I have 3 of them. One of them, the first book is PDF only because it has the rules, laws, and regulations that you need in your pocket. And you're not going to put them in your pocket because you're not sure which ones to have. So download my first PDF, Breaking OWCP, Volume 1, but download it to your phone. And then put your phone in your pocket. When your supervisor tells you something stupid, which, believe me, everything they say will be, you can just go, nah, that's not what the rule says right here in this chapter at the end of this book.
Nikki Foster said, I'm so thankful to Dr. Hunt and your Forest Park office. I was finally approved.
Yeah, you know what? That's what we do for a living. 1,120 plus approved claims this year. I'd like to tell them something. So the rest of the franchise offices don't know this yet. And my own staff doesn't know this yet. My business partners don't know this yet. My wife doesn't know this yet. We got 1,120 plus claims approved this year. Every year I do strategic planning. Number one goal in my strategic plan is to increase numbers of approved claims. I don't care about the money. I don't care about anything. I want claims approved. That's what I got into this for. Our getting claims approved is what sets us apart from everybody else. We only care about approved claims. Okay, everything we do funnels up to having a claim approved. I said all that to say this. Our goal for next year is 3,000 approved claims. 3,000. We did 1,100 this year. We're going to do 3,000. And here's what I know about me. I've been writing strategic plans since about 2015. Is that right? No. About 2008. I've been writing strategic plans, and I've never missed a mark. I've never missed a mark ever since I wrote my first strategic plan. And I just said we're going to hit 3,000 approved claims next year in 12 months. 3,000 in 12 months. And as I say 3,000, that's a small number.
Yeah,
it's a small number, but we're going to triple what we did this year. And one of the ways we're going to do that is you're going to tell your friends to stop getting themselves screwed and call federal injury centers, obviously, because this is what we do. We get claims approved. I promise you, you won't find another company that got 1,000 claims approved in a year. We're going to do 3,000 this year coming up. I'm telling you, I feel it in my gut. I'm running the plan for it. We have enough offices to do it. You should not have a denied claim next year. You shouldn't.
Okay. Jennifer Wade said, can I file for disability retirement while I'm on OWCP?
Yes.
Melissa Reyes said, because of you guys, I won my case now. I'm FERS retired and I'm eligible for the 6th edition.
Yep. Good luck finding a doctor, but you can always call one of ours.
That's it for right now.
So Dr. Snowden's on from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Hello, Dr. Snowden. Thank you for being here. So Dr. Snowden's one of those guys. I just want to say this. Look, some of the doctors will be like, why don't you say things like this about me? Look, I've seen, not in person. I hope to see Dr. Snowden in person once, but on Zoom calls. This guy's got something in his eyes, and I recognize it because I look in the mirror and I see it. He has a fire. We're going to hit 3,000 accepted claims, and I know exactly why, because there's guys like him.
Yeah.
And so, Dr. Stone, thank you so much for being here. I know you're a killer. He's not a killer. Okay, don't call him FBI. He's not a killer. But when it comes to OWCP, he is. I understand. Like, I see him. I see the way he carries himself, the way he attacked our training module. I mean, he attacked it like it was the enemy. I mean, he defeated it faster than I've ever seen. And his staff, he required them to do it. Dr. Stone is going to crush it. If you're in Oklahoma, I don't care where you are. There's one place that you go. You go any place else, that's on you. But I'm really excited. He's new with us, but dang, like I know it when I see it, okay, because I've seen it. Dr. Snowden, I'm happy to have you. Everyone take a look at Dr. Snowden. Go to Oklahoma City at federalinjurycenters.com in the locations tab. He's a killer.
Jennifer Wade said, thank you so much for the information. Can't find it anywhere else.
It doesn't exist anywhere else, Jennifer. I'm sorry. I wish it did, but it doesn't. And that's why we do this. I wrote you 3 books. We gave you hundreds of live videos, and we have 50 plus offices to help. Give me something else to solve. I'll solve it.
Yeah. So speaking of finding locations, because a lot of you will call, I have an automated message that if I'm on a call or in a meeting, I hit it. It tells you who I am, where I'm from. It says, hi, this is Gini from Federal Injury Centers. Leave a message, and I'll call you back. And then you'll get the text message. On the text message, it has the link to the locations. So once you hang up, you can just click the link and you can get to our locations, which is at www.federalinjurycenters.com.
So Jennifer said, thank you so much for the information we can't find anywhere else. But Renee Marie said, are we going to get a live counter?
For accepted claims.
I hear you, for accepted claims, so I can cheer on the offices. All right, so take a look at Dr. Harper's, his website. It's OWCPAlabama.com, OWCPAlabama.com. He's got over 500 all by himself. Renee, look, this is what we're doing. We're trying to create a counter, like a major whole counter. I'm working on it. I'm writing the strategic plan right now, and that is a major bullet point on there. So you're thinking exactly right. We're really excited about accepted claims. I think it's important that you all know how many we get because there's still so many that are untrusting. There's too many that think bad things about us, and I'm not sure where the hell that comes from. And there's others that just don't know, right? So we're trying to say, hey, look, we're getting your claims accepted because that's our core reason for existence is getting claims accepted. I said on Facebook this week, Tim Vandeman is our guy in the Maryland, Virginia, DC area. His offices have already gotten already. Okay. They've been like with us since day one, including training, a year and a half, including training. Okay. And they've already gotten 100 plus. I'm not sure how many over 100, but 100 plus claims approved in the Maryland, Virginia, DC area. Dr. Heaton in Tucson has over 500 accepted claims for sure.
Yeah.
Dr. Harper has over 500 accepted claims, probably closer to 600 now. This is what we do for a living. You know, Dr. Cox in Charlotte is rapidly making his way up to number one on accepted claims. And he's one of the newer, big, successful practices that we have.
Yep.
All of our offices are trending up in accepted claims because that's what we do. It's our core business. Our core business is you. Our core business is what you need the most. You need an accepted claim. So, yeah, we're going to have a counter. It's going to be at federal injury centers. And that's where I want it. It probably is going to be right here on Wednesday Night Chats. I got to talk to Andy and figure out how to make it happen.
I think it'd be better on Wednesday Night Chats.
But we want you to know that, like, this is what we're doing. We're relentlessly getting claims accepted. We are relentlessly getting claims accepted. Everything we do is about that. What do you say? I always believe that people aren't talking bad about you. It's because you're not doing anything.
That's true.
That's right.
You're so right about that. Oh, thank you for the flowers, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can go. We can go on federalinjurycenters.com, click locations, and if you cannot get to any of our locations.
Okay, so how to find a doctor is my last topic. Obviously, I want you to pick my doctors. Why? Because accepted claims. But it's not feasible in all the areas. You know, there's a lot of places we're not there yet. We're working on it. Our business partner, Joe, his whole job is bringing on new doctors. And right now we have a ton of doctors thanks to Joe. So he's going to keep working. His job is to do this. So all of next year, he's going to be bringing on more doctors. He brings me and Gini in when we need to. I go to conventions where there's a bunch of doctors and I talk. If Joe says, hey, I got this thing, come, I do it and I talk. And, we bring on doctors. So we're not ever going to quit bringing on doctors. But how to find one? Well, obviously you can go to our website, federalinjurycenters.com, check the locations tab. But I respect your right to choose, which means you don't have to choose my doctor. You can keep coming back here, keep getting help. You can Facebook message and get help. You can call and get help. You can send me an email and I'll forward it to Jennifer and Jennifer will call you and she'll help you. Jennifer is my lead trainer. We're going to do whatever it takes to help you no matter what. But sometimes there's nothing we can do if your doctor won't do the right job. I can tell you what to do, but all that usually does will frustrate you because your doctor won't do what I say. So the best way to guarantee your doctor will do what I say is if it's my doctor. But some doctors are nice and they will do it. So I'll tell you. The other thing you can do is you can go to Google and you can search OWCP work injury doctor in your city and state. Maybe something outside of federal injury centers will show up. And if it does, they likely know how to help you. But if they don't, you can always call us later because they won't. And you can go to the OWCP provider search tool. All you got to do is search OWCP provider search. It'll be the first thing on Google. And then you can go through all the different fields they make you fill in, and you can do a search, and it can give you 10 or 15 or 20 pages of doctors. You can call them all. And unless you accidentally call a federal injury centers doctor, they're going to say no. Most people tell me when they do the provider search on OWCP that they're frustrated.
Yep.
That's why we have doctors, because we know you can't find them. It's like, why does OWCP have a provider search tool that doesn't want you? Why do people go on Google and put like OWCP terms on their website but don't want to help you? Why is it that doctors will only do work for you if they get paid? That's not us. We work for free if we can't do the right job. That's the way it goes. You know why? Because it's a franchise and I set the rules and they ought to follow. Now, Dr. Cooper's here. All the other docs are here and they follow the rules. They're happy about those rules. They know they might not get paid if they do a bad job. But guess what? 1,120 plus accepted claims this year means they're doing a good job. We get paid. So don't worry about how we get paid. Our doctors do fine. They do fine because you're doing fine. Because they don't do fine unless you're doing fine. And you doing fine is not even enough. Okay, so we're helping you with everything. We're getting your case accepted. We're writing your disability narratives, making sure you're getting paid. We're treating you, making sure you get back to work. And we're communicating with your unions. We do what it takes to communicate with management within the roles to protect you. So how do you find a doctor? You can go to federalinjurycenters.com, go to Google, go to OWCP provider tool. You won't like that one. Google may result in something, but you will always find a doctor who loves you and wants to help you here.
Yeah, well, everyone, with that said, this is our last live.
This
is our last live for 2022. Don't forget, all of our videos from the beginning of this year are still on there, and from February 16th, 2016 are still there. We've done over 1,000 videos. We come on here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We teach federal rules, laws, and regulations to all federal employees. We're at 13,000 something as far as followers go.
Almost 13,500.
Oh, okay. I think somebody checked it. And we want to keep growing since there's about 3 million of you. And we are so thankful you guys support us and you come each week to watch us. Sometimes we get off and we see, there's only like 100 views. And within
100 views,
and in the 24
900, and there's never 100. What are we talking about?
And if there's I'm making the point.
I know.
And then in 24 hours, we're at 2,000 views. So we know you're watching.
Yeah.
And we know there are times we can't get on because the only reason we can't get on is because we're literally flying or trying to land.
They don't let us go live on airplanes.
Yeah. Or else, trust me, we actually would.
Oh, absolutely. I would do it right now.
Yeah. So thank you, all of you, for all your support for this entire year. Our family has grown. Our franchises have grown, and we're so all thankful for all of you. And from our family to yours, we wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again in January 2023.
So I want to say that also, especially the postal employees, you're about to hit you're in it. You're in it, okay? Our letter carrier gets here earlier and earlier every day, so you're in it. You're at the busiest time of your year. Be safe. Many of you are doing this thing in like ice and snow. Be safe. Be careful. Just look out. I know your supervisors are pushing you to go faster and harder, but you can't always go faster and harder. Like in the summer states like us, you can't go faster and harder in the summertime. And, you're in Chicago. You can't go faster and harder. You got to be careful. Just be careful. We wanted to do this one with these topics tonight because there's a lot that's about to happen, and we know it. So be careful. But do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Don't wait. Don't delay to report your injuries. It's going to happen.
Yes.
It's inevitable. Okay. I can want it to not happen all day long, but it will happen. Don't delay. I don't want you to lose your CA-16 or your COP. Don't delay. Just report. Fill it out. Do what you got to do. I know you want your overtime, but I want you to have your back and your knees and your shoulders and your hips. Okay. So be careful out there, but don't delay. And look, we love you. We appreciate you. Man, I'm so happy to know all of you. And those of you that are new, thank you for being here and come back.
Yes.
As soon as the holidays are over and everyone's not working a crazy amount of overtime, we're going to be back. But we don't come on at the times where we know you're just like busting your ass to get stuff done, because we respect that you're doing a thing that you've got to do for your family. So we're not trying to do a thing that pulls you away from that. So we're going to take a break when you have to work the hardest.
Yes.
Because you need to focus on what you got to get done. But we're going to be back when you're done. Okay, so come back with us.
And we still will be posting. We're still going to be sharing things.
Oh,
so
we're going to be on TikTok
Yeah,
playing and having a stupid time. So come watch me at TikTok at Breaking OWCP and go get the books,
Yes.
breakingowcp.com. I recommend everybody get 5 books for 5 friends and pass them out. And if your friends have the book, they can pass it out to someone else. But everyone needs this information. They don't necessarily make great Christmas gifts, but man, do they make great tools throughout the year when your supervisors are idiots. That's what you need.
All right, guys. We will see you guys again January 2023. We love you guys. Happy holidays.
This is for you.
Yes, guys.
We love you.
Bye, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone. And